Our society will not be great until every young mind is set free to scan the farthest reaches of thought and imagination. We are still far from that goal.
4,000 University of Michigan graduates and over 80,000 guests of the university fill Michigan Stadium. Countless others view on television the 120th commencement of the University of Michigan, 1964. President Johnson speaks of the challenge to American education.
And if we cannot educate today's youth, what will we do in 1970, when elementary school enrollment will be 5 million greater than 1960? And high school enrollment will rise by 5 million, and college enrollment will increase by more than 3 million. But more classrooms and more teachers are not enough. We must seek an educational system which grows in excellence as it grows in size. And this means better training for our teachers. It means preparing youth to enjoy their hours of leisure as well as their hours of labor. It means exploring new techniques of teaching, to find new ways to stimulate the love of learning and the capacity for creation.
Perspective, Michigan, the year 1963-64 at the University of Michigan. We must seek an educational system which grows in excellence as it grows in size.
We want to see the university grow, but only on condition that any growth that we achieve is attended by growth in strength of the program and the quality of the teaching, and not by any manner of means a dilution of what we have always thought to be Michigan. And that's a danger that we all face right now, as a matter of fact, that with the rapid impact of large numbers, that things will get out of hand, or that we will become less than distinguished and go through the motions instead of doing a central job.
This central job takes place above all in the classroom.
In the sense that given that two objects have the same attributes, for purposes of simulation, they're the same thing. And so, for example, if you say...
Michigan has always had an outstanding faculty. And each year, the university singles out for special recognition faculty members such as Dr. Richard Wilson of the College of Engineering. This classroom is in University Hospital. Dr. William J. Fry was another faculty award winner in 63-64. This, too, is a University of Michigan classroom.
Dentally assist the best.
The Speech Auto-Instructional Device, or SED system, is an experiment in teaching foreign languages by computer. In a separate room, the computer, which can operate without anyone guiding it, plays a taped sentence for the student. The computer then evaluates the student's performance as he repeats the sentence. It informs him of his learning progress via dial and lights. This experimental system is supervised by another faculty award winner, Dr. Harlan Lane.
The student isn't the only one who learns when the SED system is operative. The psychologists, linguists, and engineers who work together on this project are learning a great deal, too. The feedback to the student comes via his dial. The feedback to us for our learning process comes from the printout of the computer. The computer tells us where the student found the patterns easy to match and where difficult. We're learning about vocal skills. We're learning about the acquisition of fluency in a second language. And basically, we're learning about the principles of learning. That is, how we can engineer human behavior to be more efficient and more effective.
This is the campus of Tuskegee Institute, Tuskegee, Alabama. Founded in 1881 by Booker T. Washington, Tuskegee has become one of the best-known Negro colleges in the United States. In 1963-64, Tuskegee Institute and the University of Michigan began a cooperative program. Dr. Hatcher visits Tuskegee's campus. The relationship between the schools includes faculty exchange, joint research activities, and such cultural exchanges as a visit to Ann Arbor of the well-known Tuskegee Choir. Dr. Luther H. Foster, president of Tuskegee Institute.
It's a good thing for Tuskegee students and faculty and for Michigan faculty and students to see each other, to know each other better, and to exchange views from time to time. So this is what we're looking forward to as the chance of making a very splendid contribution directly to the lives of the young people served on these two college campuses and in the enrichment of the work of the faculty, and further than this, for its carryover value to the whole field of education and to all of America. So much is called for these days, and we as educational institutions, we think, have a great deal to give. It can be further enriched if we work together in every way we can.
In 1964, Michigan School of Music moved from old quarters to a new building on the North Campus. For many years, passers-by this old Maynard Street building heard a free concert every day, an unplanned opus for any number of instruments. Confused sounds as music students practice their lessons. Moving day, 1964. Burton Tower and Hill Auditorium will remain in use on the main campus for music instruction of Michigan students of all schools and colleges. These library stacks are not yet filled, but the large library in the new School of Music building is busy. Special features include a custom-designed rack to speed sorting of music for the marching band. A choir and small orchestra rehearse in a large rehearsal hall. Faculty members have attractive teaching studios. Michigan's new School of Music building, an impressive addition to instruction in the arts. In the fall, 101,000 fans fill these seats in Michigan Stadium. Starting in 1965, another audience of 16,000 will fill the new Fieldhouse Public Events Building, soon to rise on this site next door to the stadium. But now it's 1963, and Michigan meets MSU before a capacity crowd. MSU is favored in the battle by 7 points. Clancy gained 7 yards midway in the first quarter. The Michigan drive continues as Renfus picks up 3 yards. Chandler's Pastor Henderson puts the Wolverines on the scoreboard 6-0. Timberlake converts, and it's 7-0 Michigan. In the second quarter, the defensive battle is on. State quarterback Steve Juday's pass is deflected by fullback Mel Anthony and intercepted by center Tom Cicchini. The half ends, Michigan 7, MSU nothing.
The University of Michigan marching band features its percussion section and the special dance step to an all-time favorite, Hawaiian War Chant.
Late in the third quarter, State gains 10 yards on a pass from Lewis to Juday. It's Lewis, number 20, and Juday, 23, doing the ball carrying as State moves down, threatening the Michigan end zone. Juday hits Lewis. And the tie on the third period scoreboard is the final score between the intrastate rivals. The winter sports record in 1964 was the best in Michigan history. Hockey, first place in the NCAA. Michigan swimmers, second place in the Western Conference. Top team in the Big Ten, Coach Cliff Keene's Wrestlers. '64 was an impressive fourth Big Ten title in a row for gymnastics, and winter track brought in still another first place in the Western Conference. It all added up to the best winter sports record in Michigan history, and the fourth consecutive Big Ten all-sports crown. And perhaps topping them all for excitement at Michigan was basketball. Michigan plays Illinois near the end of the season for a record-setting 19th win. In postseason activity, Michigan won over Ohio University and Loyola in the regional tourney, then met Duke at Kansas City in the semifinals. Michigan went ahead early in the game. after the midpoint of the first half, Duke's sticky man-to-man defense meant trouble for the Wolverines. The Blue Devils hold on to their lead. Final score, 91-80. In 1964, Michigan ranks third in the nation. Hopes for the future ride high, with only one loss to graduation from a fine Michigan team. At the North Campus, uranium fuel rods are removed from the Ford nuclear reactor. Reactor power was stepped up in 1963, making it one of the two highest-powered university-owned reactors in the nation.
Advanced graduate work and research has always been important here for over 100 years, since the days of President Tappan. But for a long time, there did not seem to be very much money invested in it. In fact, in 1939-40, the university budget shows only $750,000 budgeted for research expenditures, although, of course, faculty and graduate students were doing a lot of research just the same. In 1949-50, just after the war, there was $5 million in the budget. Last year, it was $40 million. In fact, since 1950, research money has been growing here at the rate of 15% a year, and it's been growing the same way all through the country. I should, however, emphasize that the reason the university carries on a big research program is not because we can get the money, not because we want to look bigger than anybody else, but because this is a vital and indispensable part of our educational program and our graduate training program.
How do undergraduate science majors benefit from the research program? Dr. David Dennison, Distinguished Faculty Achievement Award winner, comments from his perspective as chairman of the Department of Physics.
We're trying to give the very best teaching, very best training of students that we can possibly give. In some ways, it may seem a little odd that since this is our goal, that you will find that practically every member of our staff is actively engaged in research and is in fact spending a great deal of time and energy in research. This is, however, inevitable. In order to have good teaching in a great and distinguished university such as ours, it is necessary that the teaching and the research should go hand in hand.
Though science and research grow in excellence at the University of Michigan, it's an interesting fact that the fastest growth in graduate enrollment is in the humanities, in the areas of the arts, languages, and literature. Medical education, still another area of excellence. Faculty award winner and distinguished member of the medical school, Dr. Norman Miller, comments on medical training.
We must have research. We would get nowhere without it. It's extremely important. I believe in research. But I am also a firm believer that in medicine, a very competent teacher is important. And thirdly, a very competent clinician is important.
The University of Michigan Concert Band visits the World's Fair. Directed by Professor William D. Ravelli, Michigan students played several concerts at the fair and a noon concert in Rockefeller Plaza. Spectators include Governor of Michigan George Romney and Mrs. Romney. In 1964, a crowd of students gather on the steps of the Michigan Union. They are helping to dedicate a memorial to an historic event. Here at 2 a.m. on October 14, 1960, John Fitzgerald Kennedy first defined the Peace Corps. He stood at the place marked by the medallion and was cheered by a large and enthusiastic student audience for the hope and promise his idea gave the world.
Technicians or engineers, how many of you are willing to work in the Foreign Service and spend your lives traveling around the world? On your willingness to do that, not merely to serve 1 year or 2 years in the service, but on your willingness to contribute part of your life to this country, I think will depend the answer.
In 1964, candidates of the 3rd Peace Corps group to train at the University of Michigan. U.S. students go abroad And for over 100 years, students from other lands have come to Ann Arbor. American students learn from these foreign visitors. Foreign guests, in turn, view the customs of college students, USA. Our cameras record the changing scene. They also record something in Ann Arbor that never changes: the weather. We must seek an educational system which grows in excellence as it grows in size. Enrollment at Michigan reaches 29,000 students this year. The university responds in many areas: in the humanities, in the sciences, in the arts. The university's reputation will continue to rest in large measure on its faculty. Faculty awards in 1963-64 went to Professor Charles L. Stevenson of the Department of Philosophy and to Professors Ross Lee Finney and Wallace T. Berry of the School of Music. An award was also presented to Professor Dwight L. Dumond, who brings his authority as an historian to a contemporary subject. He speaks of the pre-Civil War abolitionists.
The anti-slavery people, very high-minded, very cultivated people, preachers, doctors, lawyers, university professors, who were friendly to the Negro, and they were the people who were brutally treated by mob violence. And you see everywhere, from presidents down to mayors of the small towns and chiefs of police, addiction to the theory that the person who is being victimized, the victim of the mob, is guilty for what happened. Now, we find this today everywhere. People blame the direct action groups directed by Farmer for their picketing and their sit-ins and so on, but they have to do this to keep the issue before the people of the country, the good people of the country, fall back into an attitude of unconcern.
The end of the academic year 1963-64. The graduates of 1964 were honored to have the President of the United States receive an honorary degree and give the commencement address. Michigan Governor Romney and many other dignitaries were present for the occasion. President Johnson spoke to Michigan graduates and guests about the Great Society. The Great Society is built in our cities, our countryside, and our classrooms. It includes the demands of morality and the needs of the spirit in the life of the nation.
So will you join in the battle to give every citizen the full equality which God enjoins and the law requires, whatever his belief or race or the color of his skin? Will you join in the battle to give every citizen an escape from the crushing weight of poverty? Will you join in the battle to make it possible for all nations to live in enduring peace as neighbors and not as mortal enemies? Will you join in the battle to build the Great Society, to prove that our material progress is only the foundation on which we will build a richer life of mind and spirit? Those who came to this land sought to build more than just a new country. They sought a new world. So I have come here today to your campus to say that you can make their vision our reality. So let us, from this moment, begin our work so that in the future men will look back and say, it was then, after a long and weary way, that man turned the exploits of his genius to the full enrichment of his life. Thank you. Goodbye.
Perspective, Michigan, 1963-64, was produced with support from the President's Fund, provided by the University of Michigan alumni through the Development Council. This film was produced by the University of Michigan Television Center and is part of the film archives of the university.